Manga-Waido.
My name is Mikio Shirai, and I'm a 27-year-old part-time worker. I work at a slot machine center in my hometown. It's not a chain company and is basically a small place with a lot of local people as its main customers.
Hey, you!
Yes?
There's trash on the floor! Can you not see with your eyes or something?
I sell the wrapping that's found on tobacco boxes. As the store manager picked up the piece of paper, he began lecturing me.
Gosh, you're already 27 years old, but don't have an actual job. You're useless with no experience, so can't even do something as simple as this.
This man is Daiki Yanase. He's 38 years old. He's the store manager of this place. He did his job well, but was really harsh on the part-time workers. If you made one mistake, or even if you didn't make any mistakes, he would begin abusing you with his offensive words. In his mind, all the part-time workers were useless. There were many workers that experienced the store manager's abuse firsthand and quit their jobs. After closing,
Shirai, I'm going home. Finish up the rest of the workload.
Everything?
It looks like a hassle. The part-time workers should take care of it.
There was another man named Shinji Aoyama, the only person other than the store manager who wasn't a part-time worker here. He's not as harsh as the store manager, but his attitude was extremely bad too. He made the part-time workers do everything he didn't want to do and took every opportunity to slack off. Even though he was that kind of person, he got along with the store manager well. In addition, Shinji was the only person that the store manager didn't lecture. It's probably because, unlike the part-time workers, Shinji's presence was necessary to keep the place going. He did important jobs like handling the setting changes on the machine or managing the prizes, jobs that the part-time workers weren't allowed to do. It was tough having to work for a manager and employees like that, but there were no other places hiring at the moment. I was in the countryside, so there weren't many options for work either. That's why I continued working by closing my eyes against the store manager's abusive language. There was one other reason why I didn't quit this job. That reason was my coworkers.
Shirai, let's go drink after work today. You're out tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah, sounds like a plan. There were 5 part-time workers at this company, including me, and we were all extremely close. It was hard for me to make the decision to quit and leave these guys behind. One day during work,
Huh? The numbers don't add up.
This girl is Misa Yamamoto, 22 years old. She's a part-time worker that started working here quite recently. She's a good girl, but a bit timid and clumsy. Seems as though the number of small exchange prizes didn't match up. She was counting the inventory over and over. You probably entered something wrong. I double-checked for her, but the inventory was still wrong. That's when the store manager came over.
What are you guys doing?
Let me explain what happened. He glared at Misa and gave a big sigh.
You can't even exchange the prizes properly?
She's still new here, so please go easy on her.
Stop trying to defend each other when you're both part-time losers! Look here, if you don't know how to do your jobs properly, it's okay to quit. I couldn't care less whether you guys are gone. As long as Shinji and I are here, you guys are easily replaceable.
What the store manager said was true. Since he and Shinji were the only ones that handled the important jobs, it would be fine if all of us were replaced with other people. After the store manager gave a snarky laugh and left, Misa started to cry.
Do you think I'm better off not being here?
You're still new, so don't worry too much about it. You can learn how to do your job and make him regret what he said.
Even if I learn how to do my job properly, that man isn't going to be satisfied.
She was absolutely right. With an attitude like that, he was probably not going to stop insulting us even if we learned how to do all of our jobs perfectly. That's if things stay like this. Don't worry.
What?
We're gonna force him to acknowledge our work. I was tired of being abused, looked down on, and forced to run away. I was gonna make him realize that he was wrong. From that moment on, I worked harder than I've ever worked before. Out of all the other part-timers, I was able to do the most jobs, but I learned even more tasks. I did my best to learn how to do almost every single task in the shop. Excuse me, manager?
Huh?
I know you must be tired from having to do so much all the time. I can gather and instruct the part-time workers, so why don't you think about taking a break for once?
You want to feel like you're the king of the mountain or something by being the leader of useless people? Sure. I mean, I get tired of having to deal with worthless part-timers all the time. I'll leave them up to you. But if you're gonna be responsible, you better teach them properly.
I wonder if my work on the main floors was finally accepted by him. Even more than usual, the store manager spent his time in his office and took more days off. As a result,
This is so annoying!
since the store manager was gone, Shinji had more jobs to do. As a result, there were more complaints than ever. Would you like me to take over then?
Huh? Okay, learn how to do this then. Finish this task for me when I'm not here.
I slowly learned new jobs from Shinji. I wonder if he's becoming more and more relaxed. Shinji started throwing important tasks that only the full-time workers were allowed to do. Normally, this wouldn't have been accepted. But now that the store manager was constantly off from work, there was no one to interfere with work ethics. I took on most of the tasks around the store and taught my colleagues, including Misa, how to complete them. The manager was satisfied that the store was running itself properly even when he wasn't there and said,
You better do what you're supposed to do. If you make some kind of mistake, I'm gonna fire you immediately.
Even on the days he came to work, he would slack off and leave somewhere. One afternoon, when the morning and evening shifts were exchanging their places, and when all the part-time workers were collectively in the same spot, we were counting the inventory for the prizes, but they didn't match.
I show up for the first time in a while and look what happened.
That day was coincidentally the day the manager was at work.
I guess useless people are gonna stay useless forever. The mistake fits you well.
You say we're useless, but we're the ones that have been keeping the store running until today.
You guys, stop getting ahead of yourselves. Nothing's gonna change whether you guys are here or not.
At those words, all the employees glared angrily at him. Are you serious about that?
Of course I'm serious. You guys are easily replaceable. If you have any complaints, quit.
I understand. I took off my vest, which was part of my uniform. I'll happily quit then.
What?
Good luck with everything. Everyone else also took off their uniforms and turned their back on the store manager.
Do what you want. The store will be better off without you guys anyways.
A few days after we quit our jobs, I got a call on my phone from the store manager. As expected, the reason for the call was,
How do you feel about coming back to work?
just as expected. What? We all said that we were gonna quit.
You at least then! Come back!
That's very selfish of you. What are you on about?
We're not able to get any work done here!
Obviously, I made sure that it would be that way. The manager trusted what I said and started leaving the workplace more. During that time, I had made small changes in things like the display of the prizes, the maintenance of the storeroom, and other small details. In addition, we were the ones arranging all of the documents, including the important test reports. But it wasn't just that. In a small business, each and every customer was extremely important. We needed to make small changes in the settings based on each customer. But now that the part-time workers, who were the ones that mainly worked one-on-one with the customers, were gone, there was no one to understand what needed to be done. Plus, the person that has been changing the settings recently was me. Compared to when the store manager was doing this work, the slot machines have been replaced with a different type. Without anyone to teach him how to work the settings, there was no way he could successfully operate it. This was the plan that I once talked to Misa about. The one we would do to teach the store manager a lesson. All we needed to do was learn how to do a bunch of jobs so that the store manager could loosen up a bit. If he doesn't change, I told everyone that we should all seriously consider quitting our jobs together. I couldn't stand seeing my colleagues quit one after another anymore. Oh, but we're all useless. It won't be any help for useless employees to come to work since you're able to do your job well, boss. You should be able to handle it just fine. Good luck.
Wait!
A few weeks after that, the lazy Shinji also quit his job. The store didn't have enough people to run the place, so business wasn't going very well. One day, I received a call from a certain someone.
Is this Shirai-kun? Am I correct?
Yes, who would this be?
I'm actually the owner of the slot machine store you used to work at.
Apparently, the store manager was fired by the owner of the company, and the store was currently closed. After that, Misa-san, please close the counter tonight.
Of course, manager.
Yeah, I'm technically that on paper, but I'm still in training, so... The owner of the store had reached out to me, and I worked at the slot machine store once again as the next potential store manager. I was under training because I still didn't have enough experience to completely run the place on my own, but I was now able to have a good relationship with my other coworkers. No matter what kind of business it is, the only way it can operate functionally is if the people in both high and low positions cooperate and work as one. If you look down on lower ranked individuals in your business, it's obviously going to fail. Our old manager didn't have basic knowledge that was as simple as that, so it served him right to meet his downfall.